Hey Bree, what's up? Let's stop to leave a little a light for you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm not tired. Let's see. Is there a way I can select everything? There we go. Good question though. Let me get your opinion. Okay, no problem. Then I lay it down. Uh, how do you feel about black parents embarrassing their kids on the internet to punish them? Oh, it's something that I've been against for years. Like, I do have my own personal YouTube channel, whatnot. Well, not channel, but my own personal account on here. And I love comments about that and people going against me and stuff about it. And the thing is, it's wrong. It really is. Because you have a lot of. Because it's a generational thing and it's not right. What was it? Last night I was on Facebook and I saw a thing about how black parents, just for little small stuff that their kids do, have to beat them and slap them or something like that. You know, or what was it? One comment, there was a, like, yeah, there's a little girl. She got straight A's on something. Yeah, she got straight A's. I got an award for it. And her mom popped her for being too happy. I mean, for smiling too hard. And I'm like, what? Like, I've seen parents yell and tell this girl, don't wipe. Okay, like, this girl finna be bullied her whole life at school. There's something I saw a like to it. This girl, like, yeah, it was like some comment. But what was it? I remember seeing some video. It was a teenage girl, and she kept on a period pad for too long, and her mother, like, exposed her for that. The whole thing is, when it comes to kids, a lot of people, especially like in the black community, expecting our children to grow up a certain way or too fast or whatnot isn't right. The thing is, people forget when they were kids. When you're a kid, you're going to do kid shit, especially like babies and stuff. Like, I remember as a teenager, I went down to some family gathering and there's this baby. He was just crying, and I don't think he was like old enough to walk it. And like there's this old woman, and she was like popping him and stuff. And I kind of wanted to put my foot up her ass for that. It's just this whole thing. For whatever reason, we gotta like do that, and it's not right or anything. Like, kids are kids. I'm not saying like put up with everything that they do, and not everything really deserves like a physical punishment for that. For example, so my nephew, the very few times that I've babysat him, I have a dresser that has like a lot of drawers and stuff, and he's under the age. Well, he's 3 now, but this was like last year, like 1 and 2, and he'll go around my room like pulling the drawers, and I was just like, put it down, put it back, put it back, put it back. But he's a 2-year-old. He has energy, right? I only had to really, and it wasn't in his face or whatnot. It was just his arm because what was it? I kept telling him to stop, and I'm like, dude, stop. And it wasn't hard or anything like that. Like, he cried, and I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. And he's like, no, like that. But otherwise than that, that was the only time I had to do that. But the thing is, he's a kid. Other times I'll be like, hey, sit down. I'm like, don't pull that. Don't do this. No, you can't have this. That's mine, and you don't even know what it's used for. Don't do this. Don't do that, or whatnot. The thing is, for whatever reason, people, I don't know why, but yeah, you gotta suck on the arm or something. Exactly. Like, they don't, it really, like, yelling and stuff is not really necessary. Like, even, and that's the other thing too that I had to grow up with because of, for example, so like my personality. So like you guys see me like how I joke around and whatnot. And when I was a kid, like I was a little bit more amped up. So I had a lot of energy and I was laughing and doing all this other shit here, and people will call me like immature for that. And then the older that I got, still retaining the same personality, but getting older and maturing and stuff, the more I realized that people want to grow up so fast, and you're only a kid. I don't know, you're considered a kid, I guess, if you don't get in drama or if you don't have kids early or something. Like, I remember some bitch in my family, we're not even like blood related. I was 15. She was like, "How old are you? Are you?" I'm like, 15. She's like, "Well, you need to act like it." And this bitch got pregnant at the same age that I was. I'm like, dude. And I don't like when black parents make their kids feel like guests in their home, saying, "I pay for this and that." I've been watching those videos all day, and this YouTuber I found, she speaks on these videos. I see. Yeah, that's the other thing I don't like. Like black parents making their kids pay for rent. And I've seen other stuff like that on TikTok. And a lot of white and Hispanic parents do the same thing. But the thing is, this whole like, oh, when you 18, blah blah blah. You do know, like, as this world progresses and stuff, we can't get apartments for 300 back in the 90s. If you want to, especially like geographical wise, if you want to get a good apartment, you gotta either have a good job, your parents fund you, drugs, something around that. Otherwise than that, you know, to me that's not right. Like, as long as they're doing something constructive, but at the same time, like, 18, pay for rent, like, damn, I hate that sometimes you gotta keep your distance from some family members. Well, like I said, we're not even blood related. Excuse me. That's my the girl who said that, the woman who said that, like, what is it, she's a daughter of my dad's ex. And from what I understand, her and her sister were kind of going around the block. So, but yeah, that's ridiculous. It is. But the thing is, for whatever reason, I don't know, but some people today, they're like, well, the reason why too is because of, well, racism. And the thing is, like, if we don't do it, then other people will kill them. Somewhat understandable, but the thing is, don't let fear get into you so much that you abuse your kids. Like, I remember years ago, my mother and I, we were getting on a train back here to Florida, and there's some woman, her child had to be no more than 3 years old, and she's crying. She's like, "Get your little monkey ass up," and all this other stuff. And I'm like, seriously? Like, there's this woman next door, she's always yelling. And I remember I saw, like, there's a little boy, at least under 7. It was so early in the morning. Well, I stayed up late till like 6, but yelling at him, cursing him out over a backpack. Like, I understand your kids will drive you crazy, but kids, they live in the moment. Therefore, it's very easy for them to forget stuff. But I understand what you're saying. No, the only thing I plan, like, whenever I do start to have kids, is to be more understanding. Yeah, be more understanding than my own were at times. Not saying my parents were bad, but definitely being a better parent than my own father. Yeah, and they wonder why kids grow up not wanting to talk or having certain intimacy issues. Exactly, because they're traumatized. I know one thing I did promise here, because the one mistake that parents make, this would be during the years that their kids are in school, is listening to everything that their teacher says. Teachers can be so motherfucking nasty. I've been targeted a few couple times during my life, well, elementary school per se, from certain teachers or whatnot. And the worst thing, especially my dad, the worst thing that was ever done was him listening to everything. And I would, and it's still stuff I talked to my mother about, and she was like, "I wish you would have told me." And I'm like, "Well, here's the whole thing. He made me feel like, if, like, since he listens to everything that she says, if I tell you, you're not gonna listen. So what's the point?" And children are very smart. So for me to think that like 6 or 7 years old is very disheartening. Um, So I do plan on, whenever I have kids and whenever they get old enough, if they get in trouble, I'll just ask them. I'm like, why did you decide to do this? What prompted you to do whatever? Because kids at times will definitely act out of their own emotions, which you're gonna have to learn to control as they get older. But the thing is, they're very easy to rile up, especially teachers, because they just are so fucking intimidating at times. You know. But I understand what you're saying. No, I think, yeah, it's gonna take a while for us to get out of that sort of mentality, and that's a bit upsetting, but that's the way that is. But I think we need to definitely work on that. And embarrassing your kids online isn't where it's at. It's an ego trip that they use. Oh, well, this and that. Like, they get it from you. They totally get it from you. I had a friend that got raped as a kid, and her mom told her she shouldn't have these shirts on around this little boy. Like, what the fuck? And when she tried to, I guess they're still typing. Talk to her about it to this day. Her mom just brushes it off and says, "You still on that?" Her mom can't even admit it. Wow. Well, so I know, like, from some people, their mom, like, them saying, like, when they try to tell them that their boyfriends or their uncles, like, touch them, their moms are like, there's just something that doesn't sit right in my spirit. You need to sleep. Like, something similar to that happened to one of my cousins when he was a kid. Like, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he got sodomized as a child. And when he told his mom about it, she was like, "You shouldn't have even been over there." I don't know. I haven't seen all of the movie. There's this woman. No, there's this movie called "Woman Art Thou Loose" or something. Is that has that one girl from why did I get married? Diary of Diary of a Mad Black Woman. The guy that molested her as a kid, she shot in the church, I think. And that's exactly what happens. And also today in society, like, a lot of and that's just sad. Like, oh well, you must have done. Like, no, nobody asked it. No, I can't say that to kids. That's two kids. That's ridiculous. And black people have a tendency to not hold their people accountable. Here's the whole thing too. Some people do, but when that usually applies not necessarily to friend groups in a sense. Some some friend groups, but usually in families is where you see that, where they sweep stuff under the rug and nobody talks about it. Nobody ever, like, shit. Even the stuff that I know that my mother told me about, like, a lot, and I'm like, but usually that you would find in the families more than you would. I mean, of course, you would find that in society, definitely, but more so amongst friends, but family. Yeah, they do. And it'll be some of the most cliches, yeah, cliche stuff ever. I know there's one cousin that I have that my mother, that when I was a kid, that she did not ever want me around ever because of something that he did to another girl that was around my age. And I'm not even gonna say it, but I'm like, damn. But the thing is, like, even when, like, for example, because the thing is, I think we're like both the same age, like 22, 20. Yeah, I'm 23. I think you're 23. But the thing is, like, people of our age, if we try to speak up about this type of stuff, some people would be like, well, if you act like, since you want to be grown, since you want to do this, you know, then you deserve it, or all this other stuff. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. But like since you want to be grown, do this or that, or when parents catch their kids having sex, or like real young, or sending photos and stuff like that. And the thing is, they're minors. They're minors too. They're minors too, and they'll put that up on the internet for people to see and stuff. And I'm like, don't you know? I'm like, do you know that you just put your child on the market for this? Like, yes, what she did was wrong, and she more than likely got it from you. And they call their kids stupid and dumb. Exactly. Cristobal sent you a donation. Okay, but like, and the thing is, if people like us, if we try to speak up about that, then they're like, well, y'all don't know what y'all talking about, or well, it's because of this and that. Like, no, right is right, wrong is wrong. Cristobal, go ahead and put down your question. But like, the audacity. That's why when it comes to like our own people and stuff, sometimes I'm not even gonna say, but like I'm like, can we just not do this? Or want to call people fast and whatnot, and I'm like, or especially again relating to sex. That's a natural thing. Yes, you shouldn't do it when you're young or anything like that, but at the same time, if you teach them about stuff properly, they won't. Exactly. If I had kids, I would never do them like that or make them feel uncomfortable in the house. If anything, I'd be like, hey, what's up? Because why? I have gone through it myself. I understand how it feels to be a certain age because I've passed that age. One thing I will make sure for my children is that they don't experience the exact same hell that I went through. Not with my parents, but school wise or whatnot. I promise to protect them and definitely be there for them and be the parent that they need me to be. Like when you give birth, like that's all they know is you, right? And if you can't protect them from another person, then what makes you think that they're going to grow up and trust you? Like, jeez. Like a lot of us don't really need to be kids. I mean, parents. Or tell you this, a perfect example of parenting, what to do and what not to do. So I think it was like the same woman that commented on my age and said that like I needed to be a certain age. I mean, I needed to like act my age or something. Um, what was it? She kept yelling at this little boy to spit this gum out. He wouldn't listen. So I'm like, hey, come over here. Say just as calmly. I'm like, hey, come over here. And I didn't tell him to spit anything out. I simply placed my hand out like this. He spit it on my hand, threw the gum, and I told him go play. And he just went off and just carried on doing his business. That's really all you need to do. You don't have to yell at every single human being. Oh, whatnot. Hey, good to see you tonight. I'm sorry, Crystal. I did not see that. I'm sorry. But, Crystal, go ahead and put any question, or maybe you already have, and it's just retyping it. But you don't need to hit your kids for everything. You don't need to yell at them for everything. Don't need to curse them out. You don't need to do this or that. You need to be understanding. Excuse me. Will my Scorpio and I ever get back together? I feel like I've lost them for good. We're both Scorpios. Okay. Let's see. Mind you, right now, for a while, I'm just going to do things in the upright. Is this quicker for me? Spirit, so for Crystal, will her and her person ever get back together? Will her and the Scorpio individual, will they ever get back together? 1, 2, 3. Knight of Wands. 1, 2, 3. I'll take that. 7 of Swords. Will they ever get back together? 1, 2, 3 here. 6 of Swords here. Well, 7 of Swords here. 1, 2. the Tower. What's with Knight of Wands? 1, 2, 3. Queen of Wands. Alright. Alright, intuitively, I feel there's a part of you that actually wants to go kind of sneak away from this situation, as well as with this Knight of Wands and this Queen of Wands. What they're really wanting you to do in this case is go after what you want. Not necessarily this person, but go after the passions that you have in life, as well as this is somebody here that can be very in and out at times here, or they could be. And with this Queen of Wands, you need to stand in your power here because maybe they could have been a bit reckless. The other thing I'm getting, 7 of Swords in this Tower card. So the thing is, this person could have done something very deceptive, or maybe the both of you, because you said the both of you are Scorpios and Tower is Scorpio and Mars energy. But somebody did something that made this whole situation kind of go to its knees. And with the 6 of Swords here, it's best to maybe leave that behind. Not saying like leave him behind, but leaving behind that trouble and moving forward. Let's see, will they ever get back together? 1, 2, 3. Ace of Cups. 1, 2. 3 of Wands. Wait a second. 3 of Wands. 4 of Wands. Queen of Swords. 7 of Wands. Alright. By 7 of Swords. Not by 7 of Wands here. 1, 2, 3. Alright. What's the 3 of Wands? 10 of Swords. The Chariot. So I do see forward movement at some point. Maybe Cancer season. Not necessarily sure when, but with this Ace of Cups, that does talk about there being a new start. Or this can talk about new love, but this would be a yes card. The thing is, with this Queen of Swords and the 7 of Wands, you may have your guard up once this person comes back in, because with this 8 of Cups, they walked away and you felt really hurt about it here. With this 3 of Wands and this 4 of Wands, you're waiting for your ships to come in, and with this 4 of Wands, eventually the both of you reaching union here. But at the same time, I have here this 10 of Swords. This is more so of the ending that's happened, and with this 3 of Wands, you're waiting. I do see it happening. Let's see. Chariot. Maybe when you least expect it. 5 of Wands to 8 of Wands here. This person or you want to move ahead of any conflict. Somebody could be spying on this other person, with the Page of Swords at the bottom of the deck here, as well as Knight of Swords and the 5 of Wands. The thing is, when this person comes back in, the last thing that needs to happen is anything fast-paced or something abrupt, because conflict could arise. But as far as you two getting back together, I do see a new beginning. Again, I don't know when. Maybe certain seasons to look out for. Scorpio season, Cancer season here. So this is, yeah, the summer through the fall. Let's see. Give me a season when these two would get back together, please. 1, 2. Queen of Pentacles could be Capricorn season. That's towards the end of the year. 1, 2, 3. Page of Pentacles. What else? 1, 2, 3. Hierophant. The Sun. Okay, so, alright. Could be Capricorn season. You may hear something from this person. Taurus. We're currently in Taurus season. The Sun here, so Leo season maybe. I'm getting mainly an Earth season, possibly. Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. If not Taurus here, then Virgo or Capricorn season. Maybe Leo season, something could happen. But I do see an offer being made for commitment. He's currently got some legal issues going on, but he left me for a third party. Yes, I was deeply hurt. And now there's no communication and in separation. I miss him so much. Things have been very difficult. Oh, I'm sorry about that. But I do see, yeah, I do see something happening here. Mind you, timing can be a bit off when it comes to tarot here. But I do see it happening regardless. but breathe you still here carrying on. I think we need to do better, honestly. But better is not going to happen for a very long time because the shit is very deep rooted. Also, speaking of which, sorry, I had to go check. I'm like, did somebody? No. Oh, you were right about the timing on the communication from our last convo. Oh, okay, good. Okay, thank you so much. You're welcome. That's why people gotta hold their people accountable. Yes. But, so thank you again. You're welcome. Like I said, that's not gonna happen for a long time because a lot of us are stubborn and very stuck in our ways here. They blame everybody else, but they gotta start with themselves. Exactly. Like, I understand that we as a people have gone throughout history, and really mental enslavement is what that is here. Where it really started for us to kind of pit each other against, like pit ourselves against each other, or however I say that, and tearing people apart. And whatnot. But it is what it is. Not saying like accept it. We have to accept it, but no, we don't. Like, what was it? Earlier today, I got a hair. Well, yeah, the right side of my head is shaved. So I had to go get it trimmed down again. And I went over to the hair store in the same plaza because my hair's dyed a certain color. And when I dyed it the last time, I didn't get everything. But anyways, I don't know, just our attitudes with certain people, even like, yeah, just certain people or whatnot. Like some girl, the thing is, there was one girl that was complaining about not getting her change from this guy, and then another girl here. So he checked her out, and then she was like, "That's what's wrong with your register." And then he was like, "Huh?" And he was like, "Never mind." And I'm like, "Can we not please be polite? Like, what the fuck do you expect people outside of race are gonna do?" Exactly. Have you been seeing those TikToks of black women spinning down on themselves? Oh, speaking down. Okay. Wait, in what way? Because the side of TikTok that I be on sometimes, like the people I follow, it's such a mixed pot. One of the trashy things that I do see on there would be pregnancy and stuff. They explain like like what happened. Like she was ghetto, giving ghetto advice or something. Like I said, the side of TikTok I be on here is like their hair and skin. Oh, I have to search it up. Oh shoot. I know, what was it? Hair and skin. That's partially why, or like people like, or like colorism amongst us, right? For example, some people would consider me light skinned. I'm like, I'm not. I'm like, I don't makes you guys think that I am, but I'm not. This darkens during the summer, and I love it. Before, so I didn't, and then I started to embrace myself more. But it was basically off of me seeing what my own men would do. Like I'll let you know a little No, I think I already told you. I don't really date black guys because of how they speak down on us and how they've made me feel personally. like certain encounters that I've had, you know. The thing is, we as black women, we have to realize that this is definitely special here. Our hair is beyond fantastic. Like, I remember there was this girl in my high school class, and she was very nice. She was very nice here, and she was like, "I'm so bald headed." I'm like, "Girl, you have a whole head like full of hair. Just because it's not super long doesn't mean you're bald headed." I'm like, "No, if anything, you should definitely wear it out more." We need to get over a lot of stuff. I feel you. But no, I have to actually go on those TikToks, because the TikToks that I do see with black women are them definitely talking about discrimination amongst our own, like especially like men, black men talking down on black women. I've seen stuff like that. People comparing black men, yeah, them comparing black men to white women. I've seen that. There's different stuff here. I've also seen the side of Black TikTok where they post fights. Like, I used to be into that, like when I was a little bit younger, not like instigating or anything like that, but like just seeing fights because they're just very adrenaline rushing. Like, I don't know, just very adrenaline however you would say it, inducing maybe. And then I got older. Right, we can do so much stuff with our, we really can. But here's our problem. We put relaxers in our children's heads at like 2 years old, and then they wonder why their hair can't grow but so long, because their scalp is basically kind of fried. Oh, World Star TikTok. Yep. So like, but here's the, and that's the other thing too. So me, I'll give you a little bit of a background of myself. Yes, I'm black, but I'm also other things. Amongst those other things here, I'm Hispanic. A lot of black people have Native American Indian in them. But those stuff. And my hair, it's not super curly where you can like, I don't know, I can just like get up and just put a little bit of conditioner in it and be fine. No, it's very, very curly, but has waves whenever it's wet, right? And at like the high school that I went to, I didn't wear it out. I normally would have, yeah, I normally wore it straight because I really just like my hair straight. And the girls, they're like, "Can I touch your hair? Oh my gosh, like, is that your real hair?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, I'm like, "Yeah." And including this one girl, like, would continuously put her, like, fingers in my hair, just streaming through it, and I never even told her that she could. Or we had this college prep class, and because it's a small school here, the people that run it, they're related, and they know some of the staff pretty well here. So the college prep class was pretty small, and we went over to one of my classmates' houses, to the pool, and two of the girls in there, they were black, and they're like, "Wow, like, wow, you got that good hair, like you're wavy, like you got good hair." And I'm like, "All black hair is good hair. Like, we have to, it's like being mixed is associated with good hair." Like, no, like, no, my hair is as frizzy as it comes. Like, no, are you kidding me? I'm like, if anything, I envy like afros, because I'm like, what happens if she straightens that? I'm like, how long is it? I'm like, what if I decide to like pull it out? I'm like, how long? I'm like, it's probably longer than my arm. I'm like, I want that. And just stop. Bro, this girl said her hair used to grow so long until her grandma put a relaxer in her hair at 5 years old. That's sad, man. Yeah, so I guess we did that back in the day to make it more manageable, because it was closest to Eurocentric um, beauty standards, like, perhaps, I guess. And then it just grew into this other thing. Like, relaxers are actually pretty toxic. NamiTu. Yes, I remember that. I would wear my hair down, and people would put their hands in my hair, black and white. For me, it was just mainly black girls that did that. As far as white girls, they never did. But they're like, "Oh my God, is that your real hair? Can I do something with it?" And I told them, I'm like, if you would just leave it alone, leave your own hair alone and take care of it, you know, I'm like, this is achievable. I mean, I would just keep it short since I'm older. It just looks better. But anyways, I'm like, if you would just leave it alone, or why not, or do something with it, because not everybody wants to wear weaves or wigs and stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. I actually thought about getting a lace front, but at the same time, I'm like, you see, nah, I didn't even feel like it. But most girls would. So then, like, having little old me just walk in there, but like, oh my God, can I touch your hair? Can I feel it? Oh my gosh, it's so soft. I'm like, yeah. Like, little 14-year-old me is like, yeah, it is. I guess. But there's a lot with us that we have to constantly unpack. Yes, braids help, but if you leave your hair alone, it does grow more. That's what I would continuously hear. Like, if you, like, no, like, our hair grows, like, protective styles, but I'm doing all this other stuff. Or, the one thing that does help, but I could never keep up with a regimen, what was it, rice water? And it's not really difficult to make. I like the lace front too. The glue is too much around the edges. To me, I don't like how, like, the edges itself that you try to make out of it looks. Because it just lets people know up front, like, oh, hey, I'm scared it's going to eat at my edges. That's the other thing, too. When I was younger, I would straighten my hair so much that my edges were obsolete, just about, almost. They're about to. And I had to stop and go natural for a while. And I didn't even know how to manage my own hair, but now I do. And I'm like, hey. So I'm looking at this damn thing. Oh. Oh. I don't think he's up yet. I've done rice water. It makes my hair dry. I like the avocado one. It makes your hair extra soft. I have to look that one up. Honestly, I have to look that one up. Avocado? Oh, great. Now my computer's acting up. Does your hair shrink up? Yeah, it do. Well, not when I was doing the rice water, but like shrinkage, yes. Like my hair, it looks absolutely great when it's wet. Like when it's like very damp, but I don't know. I want to find a product where I can put it in my hair and like the way that it looks wet and stuff, like it'll just stay that way throughout the whole entire day. But I haven't been able to find anything. Like I tried like Eco Gel and that didn't even help. I gotta pay this girl back 130. My God, I just remember that. But if I could find something that keeps it the exact same way when it's wet, I will be forever grateful. But until that happens, I guess it's just babes in toyland until then. So I need to get on a little bit more earlier. Oops. Alright. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to restart the live real quick. So I will see you on the other one.